1. The secret to living peacefully, uncovering the truth behind the king's story. Have you ever wondered how to live a peaceful and happy life? A king, desiring prosperity for his nation and peace for his people, posed three seemingly simple yet profound questions. He searched far and wide for answers, but only found the true secret when he met a hermit on a mountain. This story not only provides answers to the king's questions, but also carries a valuable message about life that we all need to hear. Join us in uncovering the key to a meaningful life in each present moment. The king's quest for wisdom. Once upon a time, there was a king who wanted his people to live in peace and his kingdom to thrive. He believed that if he could find the answers to three critical questions, his nation would always prosper. 1. How can I know the best time to do each thing? 2. Who are the most important people to work with? 3. What is the most important thing to do at all times? Despite thinking for days, the king couldn't find satisfactory answers, so he gathered his wise advisors to seek their counsel. Your Majesty, to know the best time for every action, we need to consult the prophets. The most important people are the generals, as they protect our borders. The most important work is science. No, wait, religion is the most crucial. Although his advisors provided many answers, none satisfied the king. After many sleepless nights, he decided to disguise himself as a commoner and seek out a wise hermit living on a distant mountain. The encounter with the hermit. When the king arrived, the hermit was digging in his garden. The king approached and asked, "Wise hermit, I have come seeking answers to three crucial questions. How can I know the right time to act, avoid missing opportunities, and prevent regrets? Who are the most important people I should focus on? And what is the most important work to prioritize?" The hermit listened but continued digging without a word. Seeing the hermit was tired, the king offered to help. "You look exhausted. Let me take over for a while." The hermit thanked him and handed over the spade. Hours passed and they kept working. As the king grew tired, he said, "I came here for answers, and if you cannot provide them, please let me know so I can return home." Suddenly, a wounded young man stumbled towards them, clutching his bleeding stomach, and collapsed. The king and the hermit bandaged his wound and took him inside to care for him. When the young man regained consciousness, he confessed, "Your Majesty, please forgive me. I came here intending to kill you." "Why did you want to kill me?" the king asked. "You don't know me, but I know you. During the war, you killed my brother and seized our property. I knew you would come here alone to meet the hermit, so I planned to ambush you on your way back. When you didn't return by nightfall, I came to find you but was recognized and attacked by your guards. I escaped, but would have died if you hadn't saved me. Now I am deeply sorry and grateful." Hearing this, the king was glad to have reconciled with an enemy. He not only forgave the young man, but also promised to return his property and send his own physician and servants to care for him until he recovered. The hermit's wisdom. Before leaving, the king once again asked the hermit if he could answer his three questions. The hermit responded, "Your questions have already been answered." The king was confused. The hermit explained, "Yesterday, if you hadn't helped me dig, you would have been attacked on your way back and regretted not staying with me. So, the most important time was when you were digging, the most important person was me, and the most important action was to help me. Later, when the wounded man arrived, the most critical time was when you cared for him, as this prevented his death and led to reconciliation. Thus, he was the most important person, and saving him was the most important action." The king finally understood. "Oh, I see. The lessons learned. The time that matters most is now. The most important person is the one you are with, and the most crucial work is doing good for them." Many of us today struggle because we focus too much on distant, unrealistic goals and neglect what is right in front of us. Remember, there is no time more important than the present moment, no task more vital than the one you are doing, and no person more significant than the one you are with. If you keep this in mind, life will be much smoother. Most importantly, you will find peace. As the king discovered answers to his questions, he realized that practical solutions often lie not in grand philosophies or scholarly advice, but in our everyday actions and decisions. Key takeaways. 1. The present moment is crucial. Time is a precious element in life. We often get caught up in past regrets or future anxieties, forgetting that the present moment is what we truly control. When the king helped the hermit dig, he seized the present moment to do something useful. If he hadn't acted then, he might have been ambushed and lost his life. This reminds us that our plans and goals only matter when we act on them in the present. Only the present offers us the opportunity to change and improve our lives. 2. The most important person is the one beside you. The king learned that the most important person is the one next to him at any given moment. By saving the wounded young man, he created a powerful human connection, eliminated hatred, and fostered gratitude. In our daily lives, we often overlook those around us while chasing distant goals. However, it is the people closest to us, family, friends, colleagues, who significantly impact our happiness and peace. Spending time and caring for them enriches our lives and builds strong, meaningful relationships. 3. The most important work is doing good for others. Our work isn't just about daily tasks or grand projects, but also about the good deeds we do for others. When the king saved the young man, he didn't just save a life. He also created an opportunity for reconciliation. This reminds us that small yet sincere actions can have a profound impact. Every time we help someone, we not only make their life better, but also enhance our happiness and sense of purpose. Applying the lessons. The story of the king and the 3 important questions teaches us valuable lessons on living. The present moment is the most critical time, the person with you is the most important, and doing good for others is the most crucial work. These simple yet powerful principles can greatly enhance our quest for a peaceful and happy life. By remembering that the present moment is all we have and living it fully, we can make our lives more meaningful, spend time with loved ones, and do good for them. This way, we not only create a fulfilling life for ourselves, but also spread happiness and peace to those around us. In a world full of turmoil and uncertainty, these principles can guide us toward true peace and satisfaction. 2. The Dewdrop and the Beggar, a journey to discover life's true value. In the quiet early morning, a beggar walked down a path and unexpectedly encountered a sparkling dewdrop. Their brief conversation opened up a completely new perspective on the value and meaning of life. The tiny dewdrop, seemingly insignificant, held profound lessons on how to perceive and accept life. Let's explore this magical story to understand that, regardless of our circumstances, we can all find joy and true value within ourselves. A beggar walked along the road in the early morning. He shifted his bag of rice from his left hand to his right and was about to brush the dust off his hand when a large, glistening dewdrop fell into his palm. The beggar looked at it for a moment, then brought his hand to his lips and said to the dewdrop, "Do you know what I will do to you? You will swallow me. It seems you are even more pitiful than I am with your life in someone else's hands. You are mistaken. I don't understand what it means to be pitiful. I once watered a large lilac blossom and made it bloom beautifully. Now I am nourishing another life. This is my greatest joy and fortune. I have no regrets." The beggar suddenly stopped walking. The exchange between the dewdrop and the beggar is more than just a brief conversation. It's a powerful testament to the value and meaning of life. The dewdrop, though small and easily forgotten, demonstrates its immense value. It once nourished a lilac blossom, helping it bloom and shine. This illustrates that the value of an object or person does not necessarily depend on their current situation or position. Everyone has unique abilities and potential, and their value should not be judged based on appearances or circumstances. In life, we often face difficulties and challenges that can make us feel powerless and lose faith in our self-worth. However, like the dewdrop, we need to realize that our true value lies in how we confront and overcome those challenges. Regardless of the situation, each of us has the capacity to create good and meaningful things for our lives and for others. The dewdrop in the story does not feel pitiful, even though its life seems to be in the hands of another. Instead, it chooses to view every experience as a joy and a blessing. This is a valuable lesson about attitude in life. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond and perceive those events. A positive attitude not only helps us overcome difficulties more easily, but also allows us to find joy and meaning in the simplest, most ordinary things. Viewing every event positively will help us live a fuller and happier life. We should not let difficulties and challenges overshadow the value and meaning of life. Rather, we should use those challenges to grow and develop. The story between the dewdrop and the beggar reminds us that the value and meaning of life do not depend on our circumstances or position, but on how we perceive and face life. We have the power to choose how we live, and that choice will determine the value and meaning of our lives. Live like the dewdrop, always finding joy and meaning in every experience, and remember that your value does not depend on your circumstances or position. No matter how difficult life gets, we all have the ability to create good and meaningful things. Cherish and enhance your value, and live a life full of meaning and happiness.
If you like this video, please comment 1. And if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
3. Don't follow in others' footsteps. A story of independence and discovery. Have you ever wondered if following in the footsteps of others will truly lead you to success? Or are there paths that you need to discover on your own to achieve your goals? The story of brave individuals navigating a treacherous swamp illustrates the dangers of blindly following others and the value of independence. Let's explore and draw valuable lessons from this challenging journey. A man wanted to cross a swampy area, but there was no path, so he had to feel his way step by step. It was difficult. He jumped left and right, making little progress before sinking into the mud. Another man wanted to cross the swamp. Seeing the footprints of the first man, he thought, "Someone has already crossed here. It must be safe to follow these footsteps." He took a few steps, finding it as he expected, and continued confidently. But soon he too sank into the mud. A third man saw the footprints of the two before him, and without hesitation followed them, meeting the same fate. Finally, another man wanted to cross the swamp. Seeing many footprints, he thought, "This must be the way through. With so many having gone before me, I will surely make it across." Yet he too ended up sinking into the mud. The paths on this earth are not always smooth just because someone has walked them before. Following in others' footsteps may not only prevent new progress but can sometimes lead to traps. In modern society, many people easily get caught up in thinking and acting according to what has already been tried and tested by others. This can create a false sense of security, leading us to believe that following paths others have paved will ensure success. However, as the story illustrates, these paths do not always lead to the desired results. They can even lead us into unforeseen traps, like those who sank in the mud. This is a strong reminder that not every path opened by others is suitable and safe for us. Secondly, the story emphasizes the value of independence and personal exploration. To achieve sustainable success and avoid traps, we need the courage to explore and assess the situation ourselves. This requires bravery and patience, but also opens up new opportunities for development and creativity that cannot be achieved by merely following others. By finding our own path, we not only avoid the mistakes of those before us, but can also discover unique solutions tailored to our specific circumstances. This is an essential aspect of independence and self-development, helping us build a solid foundation for future success. Furthermore, the story shows that learning from others does not mean blindly following them. Learning from others' experiences is important, but we must know how to apply those lessons to our own specific situations. This requires intelligence and analytical skills, enabling us to recognize the strengths and weaknesses of each path others have taken. By doing this, we can utilize valuable experiences while maintaining our independence and personal discovery. Ultimately, the story of those crossing the swamp is a valuable lesson in independence, personal exploration, and the ability to face life's challenges. Do not blindly follow in others' footsteps. Courageously discover your own path. Only then can we achieve sustainable success and avoid unforeseen traps. Life is full of challenges and opportunities, and our willingness to face and overcome them will determine our success. Always remember, the paths on this earth are not always smooth just because someone has walked them before. Following in others' footsteps may not only prevent new progress but can sometimes lead to traps. 4. The secret behind the miraculous transformation of the hunchbacked prince. Do you believe that a statue can change a person's life? The story of a handsome but hunchbacked prince will make you reconsider. Despite trying every possible treatment, the prince's condition didn't improve, making him increasingly self-conscious and reclusive. However, with a positive role model and perseverance, a miracle happened. Listen to this inspiring tale to uncover the secret behind the prince's miraculous transformation and the profound messages it conveys. Once upon a time, there was a handsome prince who was unfortunately hunchbacked. Numerous doctors were consulted, but none could cure him. This made the prince very self-conscious, and he never appeared in public. The king, deeply concerned, sought advice from the wisest person in the kingdom, who suggested a unique solution. The king gathered all the sculptors in the land to create a statue of the prince. However, this statue did not have a hunchback. It stood tall and straight with a confident expression that exuded strength and nobility. The king placed this statue outside the prince's residence. When the prince saw the statue, he was deeply moved. His heart raced, and he felt warmth and happiness, even shedding tears of joy. The king approached him and said, "If you work hard, you can be just like that." From that moment on, the prince made a conscious effort to keep his back straight. Months later, someone remarked, "The prince's back has improved a lot." Hearing this, the prince felt immensely confident and continued to focus on maintaining his posture. Gradually, a miracle happened. His back straightened, just like the statue. The story of the hunchbacked prince is not only a lesson in perseverance and self-belief, but also reveals deeper values about the importance of motivation and how we perceive ourselves. First and foremost, the story underscores the power of belief and positive role models. The statue of the prince, with its confident, straight posture, became a powerful source of inspiration, igniting the belief within the prince that he too could change, that he too could become confident and strong like the statue. This demonstrates that sometimes all we need is a positive image, a role model to reflect upon and remind ourselves of the potential we can achieve. Seeing a better version of ourselves helps us not only to dream, but also to strive to turn those dreams into reality. The strength of belief is further exemplified by the prince's persistent efforts to keep his back straight after seeing the statue. This belief turned into a driving force that motivated him to practice diligently, day in and day out, without giving up. As a result, through perseverance and determination, the prince's back gradually straightened, achieving what he once thought impossible. This highlights that self-belief is the most crucial first step in any journey of change. When we believe in our capabilities, we find ways to make them a reality. Additionally, the story emphasizes the importance of persistence and continuous effort. After being inspired by the statue, the prince consistently practiced, always mindful of keeping his back straight. His persistence was not just about daily efforts, but also about not giving up despite challenges or failures. Success does not come from short-term efforts, but from sustained and continuous endeavors. The prince demonstrated that if we persist, stay determined, and never give up, we can achieve extraordinary things. The prince's story also serves as a reminder to reevaluate and appreciate ourselves. Sometimes we get trapped in negative thoughts about ourselves, thinking we cannot change or are incapable of achieving something. However, with a bit of belief and inspiration, we can change how we view ourselves and, consequently, our lives. Seeing ourselves in a better, more confident version is the first step to beginning our journey of change and growth. 5. 2 perspectives. 1 story. What will you see? Have you ever witnessed a situation where 2 people have completely different views on the same event? The story of the visitor and the famous official will take you into a surprising and profound conversation. A friend has been negatively judged, but is that the whole truth? Or are there other aspects we haven't seen? Listen to this story to discover 2 valuable messages about understanding and respecting differences. You'll be amazed at what you've never thought of. The visitor brought a friend to meet a very famous official. After the friend left, the official said to the visitor, "Your friend has 3 bad traits. He smiled when he saw me, showing he is careless. He didn't mention his teacher when talking, indicating disloyalty. And he didn't speak during our first meeting, which is impolite." The visitor laughed and replied, "He smiled when he saw you because he is friendly and approachable. He didn't mention his teacher because he is independent and self-reliant. He didn't speak during the first meeting because he is honest and straightforward with everyone." The story of the visitor and the famous official clearly demonstrates that every action and word can be viewed from multiple perspectives. When the visitor's friend met the official, his 3 actions were judged negatively: smiling during the introduction, not mentioning his teacher, and remaining silent in the first conversation. The official interpreted these actions as signs of carelessness, betrayal, and impoliteness. However, the visitor defended his friend by explaining these actions in a more positive light: friendliness, independence, and honesty. This raises an important question. Why can the same actions be perceived so differently? Firstly, it's essential to understand that personal perspectives and experiences play a significant role in how we view and judge a situation. The famous official might have had experiences or personal values that made him see smiling as careless, not mentioning a teacher as betrayal, and silence as impoliteness. These were standards he had set for himself and expected others to follow. However, the visitor, with a more understanding and open-minded view, saw these actions as reflecting positive qualities in his friend. The first message from this story is the importance of perspective. We need to recognize that everyone has different ways of perceiving the world based on their values and experiences. This not only helps us understand others' viewpoints better, but also makes us more flexible and open-minded in our own perceptions. Instead of rushing to conclusions, we should take time to consider different aspects of a situation and try to understand why others might have views different from our own. The second message from the story is the importance of respecting differences. The visitor not only defended his friend but also showed deep respect for his positive qualities. This is a crucial lesson in building relationships, respecting and accepting others' differences. When we respect differences, we not only create a friendly and harmonious environment but also make everyone feel valued and appreciated. This not only improves personal relationships but also helps build a strong and united community. The story of the visitor and the famous official reminds us that understanding and respect are the foundations of all relationships. Differences in perspective should not be a cause for division, but rather an opportunity for learning and growth. Everyone has a story, an experience, and a unique way of seeing things. Listening to and respecting these viewpoints not only helps us understand others better, but also makes us more compassionate and loving individuals. Remember, life is not just about what we see, but also about how we perceive and deal with what we don't see. Don't rush to judge or conclude. Open your heart and embrace differences. Only then will we truly understand and appreciate the diverse beauty of life. 6. When the general respected the thief. A surprising lesson in talent and creativity. Can a thief become a decisive factor in a war? The story of General ZFA from the state of Chu will make you reconsider. When ZFA not only respected but also utilized the unique talents of a thief, he devised an intelligent and unexpected strategy that forced the enemy to retreat. Let's explore how creativity and skill can turn a disadvantage into a victory, and why recognizing the true talents of each individual is so crucial. General ZFA was the commanding general of Chu, known for appreciating people's unique talents. Each of his followers had a special skill. One day, a thief came to ZFA and said, "I've heard that you value talented people. I have no other skills, but I'm excellent at stealing. Can you value my talent?" After hearing this, ZFA bowed respectfully and said, "Having a talented person like you to assist us is truly an honor." The officials around him advised, "Showing such respect to a thief is improper." ZFA replied, "You don't understand the principle here." Sometime later, the state of Qi attacked Chu. ZFA led the army against the invaders but lost 3 battles, with the Qi army growing stronger each time. The civil and military officials of Chu racked their brains for a strategy to defeat the enemy, but couldn't come up with anything. At this point, the thief approached ZFA and said, "I have a skill that might help." ZFA responded, "Excellent." Without further words, he sent the thief on his mission. That night, the thief sneaked into the tent of the Qi general and stole his canopy. The next day, ZFA sent someone to return the canopy with a letter saying, "One of my soldiers found this while gathering firewood. I return it to you." The following night, the thief stole the general's pillow, and ZFA again sent someone to return it. On the third night, the thief stole the general's hairpin, and once more, ZFA returned it. The Qi army, upon hearing these incidents, became very fearful. The officers said, "If we do not retreat today, the Chu army might take our heads next." Thus, they ordered a retreat back to Qi. The story of ZFA and the thief offers profound and surprising lessons about recognizing talent and creativity in problem solving. ZFA, a wise general of Chu, transcended social prejudices to realize the true value of every individual, regardless of their background. Firstly, ZFA demonstrated an open mindset and the ability to recognize talent from an unconventional perspective. When the thief approached ZFA and spoke of his expertise, the general did not dismiss or belittle him. Instead, he welcomed him sincerely. This not only showed respect for the thief, but also reflected ZFA's leadership philosophy, one that values real abilities and contributions over societal status or labels. ZFA understood that recognizing and respecting others' talents could bring significant and unexpected benefits in any situation. Facing the key army's assault, ZFA employed a remarkably creative and unexpected strategy. He leveraged the thief's unique skills to create confusion and fear within the enemy ranks. The repeated theft and return of the key general's personal items not only demoralized the key soldiers, but also undermined their sense of security. This is a prime example of using intellect and creativity to solve problems rather than relying solely on force or traditional methods. This strategy not only highlighted ZFA's intelligence but also underscored the importance of flexible thinking and seeking unconventional solutions. The lessons from this story apply not only to warfare but to all aspects of life and work. We often encounter situations where traditional methods fail, making creativity and different thinking crucial. Recognizing and respecting others' talents, especially those unique and uncommon, can open up new opportunities and solutions. Furthermore, the story emphasizes that a person's true value lies not in their occupation or outward actions, but in their abilities and talents. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and recognizing and utilizing those strengths can benefit both the community and society as a whole. Ultimately, the tale of ZFA and the thief serves as a reminder that valuing and respecting individual talents is not only ethical, but also a smart strategy for achieving goals. Creativity and skillful problem-solving, combined with the ability to recognize and respect others' talents, can turn challenging situations into opportunities and unexpected victories. This is a valuable lesson we can apply in our daily lives, constantly seeking and harnessing the hidden potential in every person and situation. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 7. True value. When appearance obscures meaning. In life, there are times when we get caught up in the dazzling appearances and forget the true value. Have you ever heard of the jeweler who had customers more interested in the ornate box than the jewels inside? Or the story of the nobleman who overlooked his bride because he was enchanted by the beautiful maidservants? These stories are not just amusing anecdotes but carry profound lessons. Let's explore these tales and understand why Mozi, a great philosopher, chose to speak simply and plainly to convey the truths of life. Once, the king of Chu asked Mozi's student, Tianqiu, "Why is it that your master, Mozi, excels in all things but seems a bit awkward in his speech?" Tianqiu replied, "Before I answer, allow me to share 2 short stories." "Go ahead." There was a man from Chu who went to Zheng to sell his jewels. He used the finest wood, magnolia, to craft a box for his jewels, then scented the box with precious incense and adorned it with intricate carvings and inlaid jade. As a result, the people of Zheng bought only the box, not the jewels. This is called excelling at selling the box, but failing at selling the jewels. Similarly, when Duke Qin married off his daughter to a nobleman from Jin, he sent along 70 beautiful maidservants to accompany her. When they arrived in Jin, the nobleman fell for the maidservants, neglecting his bride. This is excelling at giving away the maidservants, but failing at giving away the daughter. Nowadays, when comparing eloquence, One who speaks with elaborate words often captures attention for their speech, but not the meaning behind it. My master's teachings convey the noble virtues of ancient times and the principles of life meant to guide people. If his words were too ornate, people would focus on the style rather than the underlying truths, just like the man from Chu selling jewels and Duke Qin marrying off his daughter. Thus, Mosey prefers straightforward speech. In our modern, fast-paced, and often superficial world, we can easily be lured by appearances and dazzled by superficial charm. However, ancient stories provide us with valuable lessons about recognizing true value and essence. The tales of the jeweler from Chu and Duke Qin's daughter illustrate two crucial messages: the importance of substance over appearance, and the necessity for clear, simple communication to convey deep meaning. Firstly, true value is more important than appearance. In the story of the jeweler from Chu, we see that despite the exquisite magnolia wood box, scented with rare incense and adorned with intricate inlay, the buyers only noticed the box and forgot the jewels inside. Similarly, Duke Qin sent his daughter to marry the nobleman of Jin with 70 beautiful maidservants, causing the nobleman to become enamored with the maidservants and neglect his bride. These stories remind us that in all aspects of life, the core value is always more important than external appearances. We should take the time to look beyond the surface and appreciate the true worth of things. Secondly, speech should be simple and clear to effectively convey deep meaning. Tian Qiu explained that Mozi's straightforward speech aimed to effectively communicate principles. If his words were too elaborate, listeners would focus on the language and miss the true meaning. This reminds us that in everyday communication, clarity and simplicity not only make it easier for others to understand, but also allow us to convey our messages sincerely and effectively. Mozi focused on the content and meaning of his words to ensure that listeners grasped the virtues and principles he aimed to impart. Moreover, these stories illustrate a truth. When we focus on appearance, we can easily lose sight of the core values we aim to uphold. This applies not only to selling goods, but also to many aspects of life, such as work, education, and personal relationships. We need to stay alert and recognize what is most important, avoiding being swayed by superficialities and remembering our true goals. In conclusion, from these messages, we learn that simplicity and honesty in all aspects of life not only help us live genuinely and meaningfully, but also earn us trust and respect from others. Always remember that appearances are fleeting, but true value endures. In our speech, strive for clarity and sincerity, as this is the most effective way to convey meaningful and valuable insights. The lessons from these stories are timeless and relevant to our modern lives. Keep a deep and mindful perspective so you can recognize and cherish the true values in life. 8. Are you heading in the wrong direction? Have you ever wondered why, despite having all the best conditions, you still can't achieve your goals? The story of the man driving his carriage north while wanting to reach a southern state can teach you valuable lessons about the importance of determining the right direction. Don't miss this story. It could be the key to realizing that sometimes the most necessary thing isn't the means or resources, but the ability to navigate correctly and adjust when needed. Let's explore and reflect. There was a man who kept driving his carriage north. His friend asked him where he wanted to go, and he replied that he wanted to go to a southern state. "But the southern state is in the south. Why are you heading north?" his friend reminded him. "It doesn't matter. My carriage is in excellent condition." "Your carriage is great," his friend tried to remind him, "but you're heading in the wrong direction." "It's fine. I have plenty of money." "I know you have money, but you need to head south." "What does it matter if it's north or south?" My coachman is incredibly skilled. What do I have to fear? The coachman was indeed very skilled. With a snap of the whip, the carriage sped off, raising clouds of dust, disappearing in no time. His friend shook his head and said, "The better his conditions, the further away he gets from his goal." Firstly, the story highlights the importance of correct orientation. Even if you have modern means, abundant resources, and exceptional skills, without a clear goal and correct direction, all these become meaningless. In life and work, determining the right goal and direction is the first and most crucial step. If we invest time and effort into wrong goals, not only will we not achieve the desired results, but we will also waste resources and potentially cause unwanted consequences. The story illustrates that having a specific plan and a clear strategy helps us make the best use of available resources. If the man in the story had listened to the advice and adjusted his direction, he could have reached his goal effectively. This is similar to real life, where identifying the correct direction and persistently pursuing our goals helps us achieve sustainable success. Secondly, the story reminds us of the danger of persistently pursuing the wrong goals. Persistence and determination are important qualities, but if they are not directed correctly, they can lead us further away from our true goals. The man in the story showed determination but refused to listen and adjust when he realized he was going in the wrong direction. This led to him getting further away from his goal the faster he went. In life, listening to advice and feedback from others and being willing to adjust when we realize mistakes is very important. No one is perfect, and sometimes we need support and guidance from those around us. Listening and learning from others helps us view problems from various perspectives, allowing us to make more informed decisions. The story of the man driving his carriage is not just a theoretical lesson, but also offers practical applications in daily life. At work, we often face important decisions, and determining the right direction helps us save time and effort. When starting a new project, thorough research and detailed planning will help us achieve better results. When encountering difficulties, listening to feedback and being willing to adjust helps us overcome challenges effectively. In personal life, the story also reminds us of the importance of living with goals and clear direction. Setting specific goals and planning to achieve them will help us live a meaningful and directed life. At the same time, being willing to change and adjust when realizing mistakes helps us grow and mature. In summary, the story of the man driving his carriage emphasizes two important messages. Correct direction is more important than means and resources, and persistently pursuing wrong goals only increases the distance from the true destination. These are valuable lessons that help us achieve success, not only in work, but also live a meaningful and directed life. Always remember, no matter how good the means are, if we don't go in the right direction, we will never reach our destination. 9. An inspiring story from the first steps on the moon. In the history of space exploration, the story of humanity's first steps on the moon is not just a monumental scientific achievement, but also a profound lesson in appreciation and optimism. Did you know that besides Neil Armstrong, another hero played a pivotal role in this historic moment? Let's delve into how Buzz Aldrin, with his wisdom and positive attitude, transformed his second moment into a memorable and inspiring experience. This story will make you reconsider the value of each individual in a team and how to find brightness in every situation. When it comes to the first moon landing, there were actually two astronauts who set foot on the lunar surface, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Armstrong's famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," have become iconic. At a celebratory banquet honoring Armstrong and Aldrin's successful moon landing, a reporter suddenly asked Aldrin, Since Armstrong stepped out of the spacecraft first and became the first person to walk on the moon, do you feel any regret? Everyone turned to the reporter and then focused their attention on Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin responded confidently, "Folks, let's not forget, when we returned to Earth, I was the first to leave the spacecraft." He looked around and smiled. "So I was the first person from another planet to return to Earth." The room erupted in applause. In any team, every individual plays a crucial role, and their contributions deserve recognition. Neil Armstrong's famous quote, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," encapsulates this sentiment perfectly. The success of the moon landing was not just Armstrong's personal achievement, but the result of collective efforts from the entire team of astronauts, engineers, scientists, and many others who contributed to the mission. This story reminds us that in any endeavor, success comes from the collaboration and contributions of many people. Each person, regardless of their position, holds value and plays a significant role in the overall success. Especially in the modern work environment, teamwork and mutual recognition among team members create tremendous strength and motivation, helping to achieve greater goals. When faced with the sensitive question about Armstrong being the first to step on the moon, Buzz Aldrin did not see it as a loss. Instead, he skillfully redirected the focus to another aspect of his achievement, being the first person from another planet to return to Earth. Aldrin's intelligent and positive response not only maintained his morale, but also made his story memorable and inspiring. This story teaches us that life doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes we face challenging situations. However, how we perceive and evaluate these situations determines the final outcome. A positive attitude and an optimistic spirit help us overcome difficulties and find light in every circumstance. Handling situations with grace not only helps us maintain our composure, but also leaves a positive impression and inspires those around us. Reflecting on the story of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, we not only see proud historical moments, but also draw valuable lessons about teamwork and a positive outlook on life. Appreciating and recognizing the role of each individual within a group, combined with optimism and intelligent problem solving, are keys to achieving success and overcoming challenges. This story reminds us that success comes not only from individual effort, but also from the collaboration and contributions of the entire team. Additionally, how we perceive and handle situations will determine the final outcome. Let's learn to appreciate those around us and always maintain an optimistic spirit so that each step we take, no matter how small, contributes to significant progress for the team and ourselves.
If you like this video, please comment 1, and if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
10. The profound lesson from the standoff between the heron and the clam. Have you ever wondered what happens when stubbornness and inflexibility clash? The tale of the standoff between the heron and the clam by the river offers deep lessons about cooperation and compromise. Does unwavering determination always lead to victory, or is flexibility the key to avoiding unwanted consequences? Listen to the story below and uncover the important messages it holds. By the river, a large clam opened its shell, stretching its tired back and basking comfortably in the sunlight. A heron saw this and pecked at the clam, but the clam quickly shut its shell, trapping the heron's beak. The heron struggled, unable to break free. "If it doesn't rain today or tomorrow, you'll die of thirst," the heron mumbled through its trapped beak. The clam replied, "If I don't release you today or tomorrow, you'll die of hunger." Both stared each other down, neither willing to back down. In the end, a fisherman came along and caught them both. The story of the heron and the clam by the river vividly illustrates the consequences of stubbornness and lack of cooperation. When the heron saw the clam open its shell and bask in the sun, it immediately pecked at the clam to eat it. The clam clamped down on the heron's beak, trapping it. Both believed they could win this standoff. The heron thought the clam would release it to avoid drying out, while the clam believed the heron would give up to avoid starvation. Yet neither would yield, and ultimately, both were caught by the fishermen. Firstly, the story emphasizes that stubbornness and unwillingness to compromise can lead to negative consequences for everyone involved. Both the heron and the clam were captured because neither would give in. This reminds us that, in life, if we are always rigid and refuse to cooperate or compromise, we might face undesirable outcomes. Stubbornness and conflict do not always lead to good results, and can sometimes result in failure for all parties. Secondly, the story highlights the importance of flexibility and knowing when to compromise. If the heron and the clam had been willing to compromise and cooperate, they could have avoided danger and saved their lives. In life, flexibility and the ability to compromise are not just signs of wisdom, but also ways to protect ourselves and avoid potential risks. Knowing when to stop, compromise, and seek cooperative solutions can help us overcome many challenges and achieve long-term success. Moreover, the story provides a deeper perspective on human relationships and our interactions with the environment. In daily life, we often encounter situations where stubbornness and inflexibility can lead to conflicts and disputes. These conflicts occur not only in personal relationships but also at work, in communities, and in society. Learning to be flexible, cooperate, and know when to compromise helps resolve conflicts effectively and creates a more harmonious living and working environment. Cooperation and flexibility also play a crucial role in protecting and developing personal and professional relationships. When we learn to listen, understand, and respect others' opinions, we build trusting and supportive relationships. This not only helps us avoid unnecessary conflicts, but also creates favorable conditions for personal and collective development. These lessons help us better understand how to approach and resolve conflicts, build good relationships, and achieve long-term success. Remember, sometimes compromise and cooperation are not signs of weakness but of wisdom and maturity. 11. The deer turned into salted fish. A story about blind faith. Have you ever heard about a deer turning into salted fish? This strange tale began with a routine hunting trip and gradually turned into a mystical legend, attracting hundreds of people to come and pray. But what really happened? Was the salted fish truly endowed with divine powers, or was it merely a product of imagination and blind faith? Let's uncover the truth behind this captivating story and reflect on the valuable lessons it offers. One day, a hunter caught a deer and tied it to a tree, planning to continue his hunt. While he was away, a passing merchant saw the deer. He wanted to take it, but hesitated to steal from another person. So, he hung a piece of salted fish on the tree and took the deer instead. When the hunter returned, he was astonished to find that the deer had transformed into salted fish. He immediately thought that in such a desolate place, this must be a miraculous transformation, and thus the salted fish must be a sacred one. The story quickly spread, and people flocked to see the divine salted fish, lighting incense and praying. The sick asked for healing, students prayed for academic success, the poor hoped for food, and the wealthy wished for more riches. Their heartfelt prayers seemingly led to many fulfilled wishes. People believed in the extraordinary powers of the salted fish and even built a large temple to worship it. The temple housed numerous shamans and priests who chanted and performed rituals daily, attracting devotees from hundreds of miles away. A few years later, the merchant who had swapped the fish for the deer passed by again. He saw the sign "Divine Salted Fish" at the temple's entrance and found it strange. Curious, he asked the temple attendants about the story. Upon hearing it, the merchant laughed heartily and said, "That's my fish. There's no deity here." He then recounted the tale of how he had traded the deer for the salted fish. Afterwards, he took the fish down from the temple's hall. From that moment on, no one came to pray there, and a few years later, the temple fell into disrepair. The story of the deer and the salted fish brings forth several valuable lessons about human nature, faith, and truth. When the hunter returned and found the deer turned into salted fish, he immediately assumed it was a miraculous transformation. His lack of critical thinking and superstitious belief led an entire community to believe in the divine powers of the fish. This belief spread rapidly and even resulted in the construction of a temple for worship. However, when the merchant revealed the truth, the entire structure of faith collapsed. Firstly, this story reminds us how easily people can be deceived by appearances. In modern life, we are not short of examples where misinformation spreads and causes significant impact. The lack of critical thinking makes us susceptible to accepting absurdities without verification. The fact that the hunter and others did not question or investigate the strange transformation shows that without scrutiny, we can be easily fooled by baseless notions. In today's world, with the explosion of information from various sources, developing critical thinking skills is essential. We need to learn how to analyze, evaluate information, and not accept everything blindly. This not only helps us avoid being deceived, but also contributes to building a wise society less influenced by misinformation. Secondly, the story relates to the danger of blind faith. The belief in the divine salted fish led people to flock and pray, hoping for miracles. This faith even resulted in the building of a temple and daily rituals, reflecting the power of blind belief. However, when the truth was revealed by the merchant, that faith quickly crumbled, and the temple was soon forgotten. The story warns us about the risks of placing faith in unfounded beliefs. In many cases, blind faith can lead to negative consequences, not just for individuals but for entire communities. Blind faith can undermine judgment and decision-making abilities, making us easily manipulated by false information. To avoid the trap of blind faith, we need to develop critical thinking skills and always maintain a spirit of inquiry, seeking the truth. Asking questions, seeking evidence, and verifying information will help us avoid falling into unfounded beliefs. The story of the deer and the salted fish serves as a cautionary tale about the lack of critical thinking and blind faith. It reminds us of the importance of verifying information and developing critical thinking skills. Only when we know how to analyze and evaluate information carefully can we avoid falling into false beliefs and make sound decisions. Always keep a spirit of inquiry, seek the truth, and never stop learning to build a wiser life and society. 12. The power of the mind. How a false belief can harm your health. Have you ever heard the story of the small-town official and the pink snake in his glass of wine? This tale is not just a simple story. It carries profound lessons about the power of the mind and beliefs, as well as the importance of understanding and confronting the truth. Let's explore this story and see how a false belief can turn into a real nightmare, and how the truth can liberate people from fear and illness. In a certain district, a minor official visited the district magistrate. The magistrate offered him a glass of wine. As the minor official was about to drink, he noticed a small pink snake swimming in the wine. However, since it was an honor to drink the wine offered by the superior, he closed his eyes and drank it. Upon returning home, he experienced severe stomach pain, couldn't eat, and eventually fell gravely ill, becoming increasingly emaciated. His family called many doctors and tried various treatments, but nothing worked. Later, the district magistrate passed by the minor official's house and decided to visit him. Seeing that he was very sick, the magistrate asked what had happened. The minor official replied, "That day, I swallowed a small pink snake that was in the glass of wine you gave me." "Is that so?" The magistrate didn't believe it, but the minor official insisted he had swallowed a snake. Back at the district office, the magistrate pondered the story. Looking up, he saw a red bow hanging on the north wall and suddenly understood the cause. He then sent for the sick minor official and brought him to the office. The magistrate led the minor official to the place where they had drunk the wine, poured another glass, and showed it to him. Once again, a red snake appeared in the wine. The magistrate explained, "Actually, it's just the reflection of the bow on the wall." Realizing that he hadn't drunk a snake, the minor official was overjoyed, and within a few days, he recovered. The story of the minor official and the pink snake in the wine glass is not just an amusing anecdote, but also carries deep psychological lessons. Through this story, we learn two important messages: the power of the mind and beliefs, and the importance of understanding and confronting the truth. The human mind has a powerful influence on health and emotions. In the story, the minor official believed he had swallowed a small pink snake, and this belief caused him severe stomach pain, an inability to eat, and eventually a grave illness. His obsession and fear created real symptoms, even though he hadn't actually swallowed a snake. This demonstrates that our beliefs and thoughts can significantly impact our body and mind. In medicine, this phenomenon is known as the nocebo effect, the opposite of the placebo effect. The nocebo effect occurs when negative beliefs or fears about something cause symptoms or worsen existing ones. Conversely, the placebo effect happens when positive beliefs or expectations lead to healing or health improvement, despite no actual biological effect from the treatment. The story of the minor official is a clear example of the nocebo effect, where a false belief led to negative health consequences. When the district magistrate discovered that the snake in the wine was merely a reflection of the bow on the wall, he helped the minor official realize the truth. This clear explanation and demonstration freed the minor official from fear and illness. He immediately felt relieved and recovered within a few days. This shows that understanding and confronting the truth can resolve many problems and worries in life. In many situations, we tend to worry and obsess over unclear or misunderstood things. Lack of knowledge or misinformation can lead to unfounded fears and undesirable outcomes. Seeking and facing the truth, even difficult truths, can help alleviate anxiety and lead to a healthier life. From the minor official's story, we learn that the power of the mind and beliefs can greatly influence our health and life. We need to be cautious about what we believe and think, as they can become reality in unexpected ways. At the same time, seeking and confronting the truth is crucial in resolving issues and worries in life. We should cultivate positive thinking and control our mind to avoid falling into the trap of false beliefs. This not only helps us avoid negative health consequences, but also enables us to live a happier and more fulfilling life. Remember, a strong mind and clear truth are essential elements to overcome any challenges in life. 13. A valuable lesson from a burning house. In life, we often face situations that demand swift and decisive action. But have you ever wondered how delays and rigid thinking can lead to serious consequences? Let's explore a dramatic story about a man named John from Zhao State, who wasted precious time adhering to social niceties while his house was engulfed in flames. This story offers two crucial lessons about the urgency and necessity of flexible thinking in emergency situations. Don't miss it, because the takeaway could change how you respond to life's challenges. There was a man from Zhao whose house caught fire. After escaping, he wanted to go upstairs to extinguish the flames but had no ladder. So he went next door to borrow one. After tidying up his clothes and adjusting his hat, he walked over to his neighbor's house. Upon arrival, he bowed 3 times to his friend before entering. His friend then brought out some food and wine. John slowly drank his glass, then turned to invite his friend to drink 3 glasses in return. After drinking, the friend asked, "What brings you here today?" Only then did John say, "A disaster has struck my house. The upper floor is on fire and the flames are strong. I want to fetch water to extinguish it, but unfortunately, I don't have wings. Everyone doesn't know what to do. They just stand and cry while watching it burn. I heard you have a ladder, so I came to borrow it. Would you mind lending it to me?" Upon hearing this, the friend stomped his foot and exclaimed, "Why are you so conservative?" The friend hurriedly grabbed the ladder to help put out the fire, but by the time they arrived, the house had already burned to the ground. This story about John from Zhao State and the burning house is not just a simple folktale. It contains valuable lessons about life and how we face urgent situations. From this event, we derive 2 main messages: the importance of urgency and prioritization in action, and the necessity of flexible thinking and avoiding rigid behavior. 1. Urgency and prioritization in action. In life, there are countless situations that require us to act quickly and decisively. However, not everyone understands the importance of this. John's story demonstrates the severe consequences of not properly assessing the urgency of a situation. When the house was on fire, the most crucial task was to put out the flames as soon as possible. Instead, John wasted time tidying up, bowing, and drinking with his friend. This delay led to the house burning down completely. From this, we learn that in urgent situations, prioritizing prompt and timely action is essential. Hesitation and indecision can lead to irreversible consequences. This principle applies not only to situations involving life and property, but also to various aspects of life such as work, studies, and relationships. When faced with an urgent problem, always aim to address it first before negative outcomes have a chance to occur. 2. Rigid thinking and lack of flexibility. The story also critiques rigid thinking and inflexibility in situations that require quick and decisive action. The main character adhered to social rituals rigidly, even in an emergency. This shows a lack of flexibility in thought and action, resulting in serious consequences. This rigidness not only harms oneself, but also affects those around them. Flexible thinking and action are crucial skills that help us face and overcome challenges in life. Rigidity and conservatism can cause us to miss valuable opportunities and lead to unwanted outcomes. This story reminds us that in any situation, maintaining an open mind, being ready to adapt, and changing as necessary are vital. Through this story, we understand that life is full of challenges and surprises. Only when we prioritize what is important and maintain a flexible mindset can we overcome difficulties and achieve our desired goals. Always remember that hesitation and rigidity can lead to regrettable consequences, but with decisiveness and flexibility, we will always find the best way to solve any problem. 14. When dependency becomes a trap, the story of cats who forgot how to hunt. Have you ever wondered what happens when we rely too much on external support? The story of Mr. Smith and his cats offers a deep insight into this issue. When these once formidable hunters turned into creatures entirely dependent on available food, They lost their survival skills and their ability to face challenges. Let's delve into this story to understand the importance of self-reliance and the consequences of misguided nurturing. In a small town, there was a man named Mr. Smith who loved cats. He had over 100 cats in his home. All the mice in his house and his neighbors' houses were eaten by these cats. Oh no! Oh no! The cats had no food and meowed all day. Mr. Smith had to buy meat to feed them every day. Eventually, the cats bred and their offspring continued to multiply. Over many generations, they only knew how to eat meat given to them, forgetting that there were mice in the world. They only knew to meow when they were hungry, and food would be given. When full, they would roam around or lie in the sun. In the south part of the town lived a scholar whose house was overrun with mice. During the day, mice ran in packs, gnawing on everything. Hearing about Mr. Smith's many cats, the scholar borrowed a few to catch the mice. The cats arrived at the scholar's house, saw the mice with their bright eyes and red fur, and meowed in confusion, not knowing what they were. They didn't dare to catch them, only chasing them timidly. The scholar, frustrated, threw the cats among the mice. Terrified, the cats ran around in panic. The mice, seeing the cats weren't a threat, swarmed and bit the cat's feet. The cats screamed and fled. Looking at Mr. Smith and his cats, we see devoted but misguided care. Mr. Smith, by feeding his cats meat daily, inadvertently stripped them of their natural hunting instincts. Once skilled rat hunters, these cats protected homes from rodent damage. But over time, their dependence on readily available food made them forget how to hunt. When brought to the scholar's house to catch mice, they were clueless and even fearful, eventually becoming the mice's victims. The first lesson from this story highlights the importance of self-reliance and survival skills. In modern life, we often rely on technology, convenience, and external support. While not inherently bad, excessive dependence can lead to a loss of basic skills and the ability to handle difficult situations. Like Mr. Smith's cats, we might become lazy, lacking independence, and overly reliant on others. This can result in serious consequences when unexpected challenges arise. The second lesson addresses the consequences of misguided nurturing. Although Mr. Smith had good intentions, feeding his cats fresh meat ultimately ruined their natural instincts. Unable to catch mice, they became useless in protecting homes. This reflects a crucial issue in human nurturing and education. Providing favorable conditions without fostering independence and resilience can create weak, dependent individuals vulnerable to life's changes. Proper nurturing involves not just providing good conditions but also developing skills, courage, and personal responsibility. The story of Mr. Smith and his cats is a valuable reminder of the importance of self-reliance and proper nurturing. It encourages us to reflect on how we handle dependency and responsibility in life. We need to learn to stand on our own, cultivate skills, and build the resilience to face any situation. Additionally, when nurturing and educating others, we must focus on developing their independence and personal responsibility so that they can overcome difficulties and challenges without solely relying on external support. Finally, this story reminds us of the value of natural skills and instincts. In a world increasingly dependent on technology and convenience, we must remember that self-reliance and survival skills remain crucial for our existence and growth. We should appreciate and cultivate these skills to avoid becoming like Mr. Smith's cats, forgetting natural instincts and becoming helpless in the face of life's challenges. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.